Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing age honoring makeup. What is age honoring makeup? It is honoring the age that you are and throwing out all of the rules and doing makeup that just makes you feel good, that really is true to who you are, that isn't dictated by any doctrine of, you have to put your blush here, you have to do this a certain way. Let's just throw out those rules. Makeup should be fun, it's an expression, and I'm here to start talking differently about makeup. I'm an over 50 content creator, okay? I myself am bombarded with ageist messages all the time through scrolling social media. I see countless of other creators telling women, where to put their blush if they're over a certain age, what things age them, stop these 5 things right now and you're gonna look younger. I am so tired of feeding into that doctrine, of seeing that. I am not gonna participate in that. It would feel so untrue to how I feel and how I'm trying to inspire other women to feel. I want women to feel obviously good about themselves as they age, and you can decide what that means for you. If it means putting your blush way up here and that makes you feel great, good. But I don't want you to do these things or these rules with the intention of thinking it's going to make you look 15, 20 years younger. The truth is, our skin, our age is where it's at, and let's just honor it. Let's honor the ritual of doing makeup, which is really to adorn yourself. I use this time when I'm looking at myself in the mirror doing my makeup. I choose kind words to speak to myself rather than saying, oh boy, you could do this and look 10 years younger, or boy, you really should avoid this because you're too old for that. I have personally chosen to let those thoughts roll off. Not that I don't occasionally have them. It would be really untrue if I were to tell you that every day I wake up and I'm so thrilled to be 57 and so thrilled with what I see in the mirror. I don't think any of us have every single day turn out that way. But when those fleeting thoughts come in, those negative thoughts enter my mind, I make it a habit of turning it around. I let them float in and I let them float out because they really do not serve me. They don't serve my daily happiness. They're not going to serve me well as I continue to age. So it is a practice. It's not something that just comes so naturally to me and that I have it all figured out. But I am making a conscious effort to do age honoring makeup and skincare that celebrates where I'm at, and rather than critiquing what I look like at this age, I'm just going with it and honoring it. And that's what I want to talk about today. Makeup is, to me, an expression. It's an art form. And I think with any art, we really can't judge it. And I don't like having all these strict rules around makeup for women over a certain age. I think there's a difference between good makeup techniques that work for all ages, right? There's just some skill set. There's some general ways that we should be doing makeup for it to look its best. That's a very different conversation than what you should avoid if you're over a certain age, or what you should not be doing if you're over a certain age. That's where it becomes ageist, and we don't even realize it. It's subliminal. We're getting these messages fed to us, and we're taking this in. So we have to be very careful on what we're going to let into our psyche as we get older, because how you feel about aging ultimately will become your experience and become true for you. So I choose to look at it as a blessing, as getting the full life experience, as I say. And so that's what I'm going to be doing here today. So I've broken all the makeup rules that I've seen posted on social media, and this is how my makeup turned out. And I broke every single rule. So if you want to see the rules that I broke and how you can break them too, and you should be breaking these rules, keep watching. I've had it with these rules. These rules, I see them popping up on my Instagram For You Explore page. I see everybody talking about these rules, everybody demonstrating these rules. What are these rules? These rules are really keeping us in an ageist thought process. You know, there's so many rules now for women over 50, over 40. Don't do this with your makeup, you know, lift here, do this, place it here, don't place it here. Makeup shouldn't be about that. Makeup is about expression. It should be fun. And sure, I think there's trends that you can choose to follow or not follow. There are some basic guidelines for good makeup application, and I think that has nothing to do with age. It's just simply good makeup techniques or good makeup application. Has nothing to do with looking younger, being younger, striving to look younger. And I think that's where it's getting really twisted. And these rules just really irritate me because they really keep us narrow-minded, because makeup is about expression. It should reflect maybe how you're feeling about yourself, how you're feeling about the day. It's an accessory. It's like adding the perfect pair of earrings. Finding the right lipstick can just really brighten up the face. It should be fun. And I want to bring fun back into makeup for women over 40, and especially for us women over 50. I think we're kind of being kept in this cage of age, I call it. You know, oh, I can't do that anymore because I'm over 50, or I really should only place my blush like here. What is that? If I want to place my blush on my ass cheeks, I'm gonna do it. No one is gonna tell me any rules about makeup, and I don't want you to feel that you have to conform to all these rules. So today, with my rebellious spirit, I am going to be breaking all the rules that I'm seeing on social media for women over 50 when it comes to makeup. So if you want to be rebellious with me, keep watching, watch me break the rules, and you'll see that the sky does not come falling down. And I think we could have some fun with makeup. Let's do it. So I'm going to prep my skin today with the Estee Lauder Revitalizing Supreme. This is the SPF 25 moisturizer. I recently started using this and I really like it under makeup. And I think what's really important that no matter what makeup you decide to do, you want to prep your skin properly for the skin that you currently have. So if you are dry, this is a great choice because this is nice and rich, but it has that SPF protection, so it gives the skin a little glow. And this is only an SPF 25, but I think it's enough because I'm also going to be adding a primer that has an SPF as well. So we'll be doubling up on the SPF today. This cream is absolutely a luxury. It feels luxurious, and I'm into it right now. I really like this cream. So prep your skin with what feels right for you. If you're oilier, use more of a gel lightweight cream or lotion. If you're drier, use something nice and rich because all makeup looks better on hydrated skin. And so we want to make sure that we're prepping. Now, I also used, of course, my hydrating serum and all of that before, but this is going to be my final step just to lock in everything. And as I said, I recently discovered this moisturizer and I really like it. I spent some time with the Estee Lauder team last week in New York. I got to meet Paulina Porcikova, famous 80s, 90s supermodel. And I'm sure many of you probably are following her on social media. And I will say she is equally, if not more, beautiful in person, in the flesh, and so funny, so smart, so kind. Everything emanates through her. And there was a few things that she said. We were there to hear a conversation between her and Erin Lauder, who is the granddaughter of Estee Lauder. They had a conversation about aging, what it means to age. And one thing that Paulina said that really stuck with me is she said that when she was younger, because of her beauty, that she never felt heard only seen. People didn't want to hear from her. They didn't value anything that she had to say or her opinions on anything. She was just an object to be dressed up, to be adorned, and to be photographed. And I think she felt that way most of her life. And one thing she said is that now that she's aged out of, you know, quote unquote, being considered super beautiful by fashion and beauty standards, that she's finally being heard. And that's what age has afforded her. And I think it's beautiful. And I love that Estee Lauder is a company that is really listening to the consumer, and they are making changes in the future to their marketing. They really want to start moving away from the anti-aging message, which I think should be applauded. It's a big step. It's a big undertaking, and that they're listening and they're hearing that that really isn't the way women necessarily view aging anymore. So I have to applaud that. And they really do make efforts to use great ingredients and to make their skincare about skin health. But they're going to move away, I think, in the future from that anti-aging rhetoric. And Paulina's been a big advocate of that. Her whole platform is about embracing her age. She's 60, and you know, she's no qualms about it. And her goal is to take shame away from aging. And I can definitely get behind that. She's been someone that I've always admired since I was a young woman, and seeing her embrace aging in this way, for me and hopefully for you, is super inspiring. And she really wants to use now her celebrity for change in the way we see aging, change in the way the beauty industry views aging. And of course, that's been my message all along, and I just think it's really inspiring. And it's really just filled my heart this past week with so much hope for the future. So let's continue on here. So another new favorite of mine is the Wise Beauty, YSE, Wise Beauty. This is the Skin Glow SPF 30 Primer. Wise Beauty is becoming one of my favorite skincare brands, beauty brands, because of their message as well. They are a brand that is about embracing where you are and not chasing youth. Using products just to take care of your skin, to have a nice ritual, but without the intention of trying to look 30 or 25 or whatever number you have in your head that you're trying to achieve. So that's a brand that I also can really get behind. So you'll be seeing more from Wise Beauty and me, because I really do love the message. And the products that I've tried, as an esthetician, I can really kind of dissect, and they're using good ingredients. Simple, no fuss, no muss. This is a very easy line to work with and understand. And this Skin Glow, this has the SPF 30 in it, is a beautiful, beautiful primer. And I, again, have been really enjoying this product. So check out Wise Beauty. I think it's important, especially for me. I think I've mentioned this before. I want to support brands that support that positive message. I think it's important that, you know, in a way we vote with our dollars, right? We kind of let them know what we're wanting to see more of. And I want to see more pro-aging, age celebration. And so I'm going to get behind brands that really support that message as well. All right. So as you can see, it's given me a beautiful glow. This product is phenomenal. And I'm going to let this just sit in for a minute. And I'm going to do my brows. So I didn't upload last week. I am so sorry. My schedule kind of got away from me, and I really just need to focus more on incorporating this longer form content and making time in the week so that I have time to record and get a more consistent schedule. My goal is to upload a video every Sunday, and if I can do more than that, I will. But for now, I think that's a good goal for me, just getting started here. Okay, yeah, I really like that. I think that is, it feels good, but I am gonna let this work in just so it's not, I don't like to put makeup right on top after moisturizer. I like to give it a few minutes, and that's when I'll usually go in and do my brows. So let me do that now. So I'm gonna use just a dark brown, a warm or a cool brown to fill in my brows. This is the Mario palette. This is one of my favorite palettes. I've used this in other videos I've done. And I'm just gonna fill in my brows. And I'm filming this on Mother's Day. I've took my mom on Friday to one of my favorite breakfast places in Vegas. It's called Craft. So if you're ever in Vegas and want kind of a more of a local choice, a local experience, go to Craft. It is one of the best breakfast lunch places in Vegas, and of course, you know, locals know about it. It's so good, and my mom experienced it for the first time and she loved it. We had, okay, I'll tell you what we ate. When I go out to breakfast, breakfast is one of my favorite things to do. I love brunch, I love breakfast. I like to get something sweet and savory. So I love going with a friend who's willing to split. Like, I'll order sweet, you order savory, and then we share. So me and my mom did that. Of course, we did both get a savory breakfast. I got Eggs Benedict, and she just got like a traditional eggs and bacon, you know, smashed potato kind of a thing. And then we ordered, and I recommend if you go here, order the creme brulee stuffed French toast. It is to die for. You will not regret ordering that. It is one of the best things I've ever eaten. And so I always like to get that. And if I can talk a friend into splitting, like, I love their frittatas too. Let's split a frittata and then let's get the creme brulee stuffed French toast. Makes for a indulgent and fun breakfast brunch experience. So I highly recommend. If you're in Vegas, go check it out. So we did that, and then I take her to I booked her an appointment with one of my favorite Reiki masters and sound healer. Her name is Michelle Kellogg. She's also based obviously here in Vegas. She has a YouTube channel where she does her sound bowls. You can play these meditations, and I like to put that on sometimes when I'm feeling very overwhelmed and stressed. You can just put on one of her videos, lay there, and get the benefit of the sounds, and it is just so healing. So I took my mom to get a Reiki session and sound healing with Michelle, and my mom just came out like floating. She was like, it was so incredible. My mom really got into a good parasympathetic meditative state during this treatment, and she said that she like saw some visions, like she believes that maybe she saw her spirit angels, you know, her guardian angels near her. She said it was a beautiful experience and she loved it. So that was her Mother's Day gift, and today we watched a really good movie. It was called Penguin Lessons, and I highly recommend you watch that movie. It was a beautiful, uplifting movie just about the human spirit and about humanity. It was a beautiful, beautiful movie. And then tell us you're Mexican without tell us you're Mexican. We ordered like junk food from Don Tortaco. We had chorizo, beans and rice for an early dinner. So there you go. My mom couldn't be happier. It was a good Mother's Day weekend. So if you're Mexican and you love chorizo as much as I do, we're best friends. Okay, so I filled in my brows, and I'm just gonna brush those up with my favorite NYX Brow Glue. NYX Brow Glue. So I guess I'm kind of breaking a rule already, because they say that when you're over 50, your brow should go up at the end to give your eye more space. I think that works for some people. I just think you go with the brow shape that you were given and don't stray too far from that, because that's when you start to look a little, I think, a little off. again, I think some of these things we can get so caught up in that when we look at ourselves in the morning and do our makeup, all we're doing is critiquing ourselves. We're not looking at ourselves and saying, okay, this is my face now today. Does it look like it did at 25 or 35 or even 45? No. But these are my eyes. This is my face. This is where my cheeks are at the moment, right? And I'm just going to meet myself at the moment and embrace and honor where I am. And rather than looking at myself, thinking what I need to fix, what I need to do different to look younger, I'm just going to do what makes me happy. I'm going to choose colors that make me happy. I'm going to decide if I want to have a bold eye today, if I just want to do a natural looking makeup. Like, that's more of the questions and thoughts you should be having when you look at your face, rather than, oh my gosh, I need to make sure that my blush is up here so I can look, what, a few years younger? Like, I don't know. I'm just really sick of all of that. And what I'm going to bring to this channel, and especially to my Instagram content, is what I'm calling age honoring. Honoring my age. This is it. This is my face at 57, and I'm going to honor it. I'm going to honor myself. I'm going to speak kindly to myself when I look in the mirror. And I'm going to have fun with makeup, and I'm not going to worry. I'm going to do trends if I feel called to do them. If I want to wear blue eyeshadow, if I want to, try the new viral lipstick color, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to let anyone or any thoughts, intrusive thoughts, curtail me from having some fun. Makeup should be fun. And that's the goal for today. So the first rule I'm going to break is I am going to use, oh my God, a shimmery eyeshadow. Have you heard this ridiculous rule that women over a certain age should not be wearing shimmery eyeshadow? I'm here for it. I love it. And I'm going to use, I've never tried this one, but I got a few of these. These are the liquid eyeshadows from Giorgio Armani. And I did swipe this one on my hand yesterday. It is so pretty. This is like a soft brown bronze color. I don't know if the camera's focusing in on it, but these are a lot of shimmer. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to break the rule, and I'm going to put shimmer all over my eye. Oh my God, how dare she? Well, watch me. I'm going to do it. What I like about liquid eyeshadows is that they're really foolproof. They are so easy to use. So this one's got a lot of metallic shimmer to it. And I'm going to put it all over my lid. And you can easily just blend these in with your finger, which again makes it so easy. And once these set, they don't budge, and that's a really lovely thing. So I'm just going to tap this in all over, and I'm going to bring it up a little higher, okay? And let me grab a little bit more of that, put some more on. I like shimmer, and I don't see that after being a certain age why I have to stop wearing it if it brings me joy and if I enjoy it. I'm going to take a brush this time and kind of buff that out. Now, if your lid, this is the rule I see, that if your lid is super hooded, you don't want to put a shimmer up here because that's going to draw more attention to the hooded eye. So what? You have a hooded eye. Your eye is aging. It's drooping. Maybe you always had hooded lids. Who cares? These are like the unrealistic beauty standards that I am willing to go up against. Aging against the machine is what I call it. Who is anyone to tell us like what we can do? Now, if you don't like the way it looks, then don't do it. But if you like shimmer, try this, because this is a nice compromise. It buffs out pretty seamlessly, And it's not going to be glittery. It's very sophisticated shimmer. And I think sophistication is great. So that's how that looks. And yeah, I like it. So let me do the other eye. And you may have noticed that I didn't do an eyelid primer. I just went straight in with this. And I did that because I just think with these liquids, you don't need to. We're just kind of making it simple. And I'm just gonna blend that up. So how does it feel? We're breaking the rules. Has the sky come crashing down that, oh my God, there's a woman in her 50s and she is using a shimmery eyeshadow. Oh my God. I mean, that to me, that's how ridiculous all these rules are. It's just so silly. It's like, oh my God, she's over 50 something and she's wearing a mini skirt. Oh my God, you know, it's just, get over ourselves. Okay. So there you go, shimmery eyeshadow. Nothing bad is happening. So I'm gonna take this one. I'll put the names in the description box because I need my readers. These things are written way too small on the bottom. And yeah, I'm not gonna struggle through that on this video. So I'm gonna put just a little bit of this color. I think this one was called Silver or something. Just gonna put that on the center and in towards the inner corner. Same brush, and I'm just gonna buff that in as well. And that just added a little of a silvery shimmer on it. And again, these are very sophisticated shimmers. You really can't mess these up. All right. Okay, that's how that looks. It's just some shimmer on the lid, not a big deal. And I think for this look, I'm just going to do a soft brown eyeliner. This is one by Melt Cosmetics. It's called Slick Waterline, and it's just like a true dark brown. And I am just gonna place this right into my base of my lashes. And I might just do a little flick up, just very subtle. And then I'm gonna smudge this out with a small brush. So I just placed a little color there, just working that into my lashes ever so slightly, a little flick up, and I'm just gonna smudge that and soften it. Okay, just taking a small brush and smudging this. Now this is one of the gel liners, so once it sets, it's not going anywhere, and I like that. These are really nice eyeliners. Going to, oops, went a little crazy there. Let's just wipe that away. Just take this and that. Yeah. Just a soft brown liner for this look today. But you can use any liner color that makes you feel good. I don't know, I just decided to pick a brown. And that's the thing about makeup. It's the day of. It's just kind of like sitting in an art class, right? You're just kind of seeing what feels right. And today, the brown felt right. I'm gonna take a little on this side. Smudge that out. Okay, so I'm going to use the YSL. This is the waterproof mascara. I'm just going to apply a few coats of this. Okay, so next I'm going to take this maroon color, only because I'm wearing a little bit of maroon, and I am going to apply this color just into my inner crease. And this is a matte shade, but I'm just going to add a little bit on this outer corner here, just because I want to pick up some of this vibe from my shirt into my eyes. Don't have to do this, but I don't have a shadow in that Armani collection that is a plum color. I'm sure they make one, but I'm just going to add a little bit of that in there. And then I might tap a little bit of the shimmer on top of this, just so a little maroon just kind of picks up. I think I'll finish my makeup and come back and see if I want to do that. Okay. Yeah. All right, so let's break another roll. Okay, so this is what my eyes look like now. Some shimmer. Have mascara. I have a little bit of brown smudged eyeliner, just to kind of thicken up the look of my lashes. All right, so now the next rule I'm happy to break is this whole thing about matte foundations. I'm sure you've seen the marketing. It's like, are you over 50? You know, does makeup crack and bring out your wrinkles? Well, switch to this dewy, greasy makeup and you're gonna look plump and dewy. And that can be fun, to look plump and dewy. It can definitely give the skin a glow when you use dewy skin tints and things like that. I love them. I sometimes use that, but I don't think that's necessarily for everybody. And I think you can wear a matte foundation. It's all about prepping your skin. And one of my favorite matte foundations is the Lancome. This is a great matte foundation, and I wear it all the time, especially for an event. It gives me flawless coverage. It's a matte. I love it, and you will too. So you can wear a matte foundation or a demi matte foundation. Not everything has to be luminous. Luminous is fun, it works, but break the rule. You can still wear your favorite matte foundation so long as you're prepping your skin the right way. I'm going to use this color from, it's called My Tweety. It's from MAC. I'm going to just use a little bit on my hyperpigmentation. I recently learned this little tip from one of the MAC Cosmetics artists. I went in to get color matched with the new Studio Fix foundation, and I was telling her about, you know, my pigmentation, and I was asking her about correctors. And of course, you know, using peach is a good tip when you have hyperpigmentation, but sometimes the creamy versions of correctors, they fade or they soak in or they move around when you put on your foundation. She gave me a great tip, was to use this shadow. It's a shadow, so it's not going to go anywhere. It's a powder. And I have been loving this tip. So as you can see, it almost looks like a blush. And I just put this on, and then I'm going to do my foundation. And I'm going to use my favorite sponge, the best sponge in the whole world. If you have not heard of the StansOut Beauty Sponge, you are missing out, my friend. I got a pack of 4. I always like to have a backup. I'll show you how mine look. Okay, this is one I've obviously been using for a while. These are soft, so soft. You can get under your eye, you can do cream contour, you can do everything with this sponge. It's got all these great angles. You don't need water. This is how soft it is. Gives the best full coverage application. You can thin things out. You can use it to apply your moisturizers. It is the best sponge in the world. So I just got a refill on a 4-pack because I use them all the time. And so I'm just going to take a little bit of that Lancome foundation and I'm going to apply this. And here we go, breaking another rule. This is a matte foundation and I am clearly a mature skin. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Absolutely nothing. I'm going to have a flawless foundation. I'm not going to put this directly under my eyes because I'm going to use a concealer, but I'm going to apply it everywhere else. This is one of the best foundations ever. And I'm really curious to try and compare this to the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I'm supposed to be getting that one and I can't wait to try it. It's a similar concept and formulation, I believe, but I'll compare the two. But right now, Lancome is one of my go-tos. Love it. I like the Charlotte Tilbury one as well, but this one is good. I think it's a good color match for me, and I really, really like it. Okay, tapping this in, stippling it in, if you will. Look how well it covers, and can we just give a shout out to that eyeshadow technique? That works better than any of the cream color correctors that I've been using over the years. So that's a big win. I love it. Okay. So just got a nice full coverage. Now, if I didn't moisturize my skin and prep my skin properly, sure, this could look a little dry, but it would look dry even if I was 35 and didn't prep my skin. Do you see what I mean? I think we're putting too many rules on makeup. Makeup is ageless. It's an ageless thing for everybody to enjoy. There are no cutoff dates on when you should not be doing makeup. If you enjoy it. If you don't enjoy doing makeup, then don't apply it. But don't let these rules stop you from doing a full face beat. You know, if you like a full glam look, the only way you're really going to truly achieve that are with these types of products, with matte foundations. They last, they look great in photography. So I'm going to take a little Lancome Tint Idole concealer, just put that in through that area, inner corner. And I'm going to buff this out with my concealer brush. Okay, so let me just do that. And I just use a very little bit of this product. And really, at this age, I do have fine lines, wrinkles under my eyes. Is it going to crease eventually? Am I going to see wrinkles? Yeah. Who cares? I am my age. I cannot hide. I cannot change. This is it, guys. I'm working with it. Now, one thing that I like to do is I'm going to just stipple in my highlight or my concealer. And I'm going to crinkle my face. Crinkle. Get all that into those crevices. Okay? It kind of settled into some of my fine lines. I'm going to wipe off my brush, have very little on, and I'm just going to blend into that and blend that excess away. That really just kind of solves all of those problems for me. So before I set this, now I've kind of blended and smoothed away any excess that would possibly really crease. It's going to crease. It's inevitable. If you move your face and you have expression and you wear this over time, it's going to crease a little bit. This is pretty foolproof, but yeah, it's going to be okay. Okay, so that is how I have a matte foundation on. It's fine. Again, the sky is not going to come falling down if you wear a matte foundation. It's just not. Sorry to tell you, it's not going to, the world's not going to end. And I love the way a flawless foundation looks. And as my natural oils, as I wear it throughout the day, it tends to look more and more like skin. So give it a try. Don't be afraid of a matte foundation. Okay, so the next rule I hear all the time is where to put your contour. And, you know, they tell you not to put it too low, which I agree, but that's for any age. That is not because you're over 50. So I think we need to, again, take these ageist, rules away. So I'm going to use the Rare Beauty contour. This one is a nice, truly like cool toned contour. And I'm going to just put some on the back of my hand. I really don't like applying a contour directly to my face because it can tend to be a bit much. And I'm going to use this little brush too. And again, I'll list all this stuff down in the bottom. This is a My Kitco brush. I'm going to take a little bit of this contour. And for my face shape, I am just going to keep it, you can kind of see my natural contour. I'm just going to follow that line and just ever so slightly create a little shadow there. Same thing on this side. Can you kind of naturally see that? Everyone's face shape is different, so I think giving like a one-size-fits-all contour guide is really not helpful. So you're going to have to decipher on your own face like where the natural contours are, and you want this to be super subtle. You don't want a really heavy shadow there. It just doesn't look good in real life, but we're just going to do a little, and that gave me just a little contour there. Now I prefer more of a bronzing contour. And you know I love my Charlotte Tilbury contour stick. And this one is definitely more of a bronzy shade, right? A true bronzing kind of tone. And I'm going to take this one and put this a little bit above the other that I just did. And just kind of lightly tap that in. Give me a little bronze vibe. I'll put a little up here as well. And this is going to fall into the blush drama of, I just see all these over 50 people putting their blush like clear up here, thinking that it's going to give them a facelift. I think that might work for some face shapes, but what if your face isn't like meant for that? I just like using blush where I naturally blush. I don't think I'm ever blushing clear up to my eyeballs. I just don't think that happens to people. Call me crazy. So I am going to put my blush where I naturally would blush. So let me do that. I'm going to use the Rare Beauty. This one is called Worth. And again, I'm going to put some on the back of my hand. Okay, that's a really pretty shade. I like that. And I'm going to use this brush from My Kitco as well. It's just kind of a nice blush kind of brush. I'm going to just, again, stipple this in. And again, I like to get that worked into my brush. Tap off the excess. And you know the rule where you smile and you put the blush and they're telling you, well, then when you stop smiling, your blush is down here. That's not necessarily true. I don't know like how these rules are getting so twisted, but where do you blush? Like I flush in through here. So I am just going to tap in right into where I would naturally flush, which would be upper cheek. For most humans, it's like your upper cheek area. So I don't know why it's like up here all of a sudden. And I don't know, maybe the new generation, when they blush, it's different. I don't know. But I'm gonna blush where I normally would have a little flush of color, like from a hot flash. That's what let's call it hot flash blush. Okay, if you've had a hot flash, where do you naturally flush? That's where you should put your blush. So for me, it's like right in through here. It's like, that's where I would naturally have like, ooh, a little flush. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna put some on my chin. And I always put a little blush on my forehead. Okay, there we go. Another rule is you hear so many people telling us that we can't wear powder. Can't wear a powder foundation. You can't wear powder. And I think there's yes and no. And again, this is ageless. I would give this same advice to someone 20, 30, or 40. It doesn't matter. Powders are really good if you tend to have larger pores, which many of us do. In our 50s, our skin changes, because we lose collagen, the pores can kind of look more visible. They kind of stretch out a little bit. You need a powder to make that look more flawless if that's the look you're going for. So you need powders. It's how you use them. It's the kind of brush, the technique. I'm not into baking, but I was never into baking under my eyes even when I had quote unquote flawless under eyes. I just didn't feel the need to do that. That's a trend. That's kind of like what's happening now with, you know, makeup, but you don't have to do all that. I love the MAC. I've always loved MAC Studio Fix. Their new formula, they've taken the talc out. So because of that, this is going to be an excellent choice for your skin, no matter what your age. But if we want to call it mature skin, this is going to be a great choice. I'm going to lightly set the areas that I really want to look more smoother with this powder. And I'm going to use the MAC 1355 powder blush brush. This I recently just got and it is so soft. I really like it. I'm going to take this, just get a little bit on, and where's my handy mirror? I am just going to tap this right in through this area. This is how I like to do it, in my forehead. You could also use Laura Mercier has a talc-free powder. What's another good one? Charlotte Tilbury has a great talc-free setting powder. But when I want like a flawless look, nothing beats MAC Studio Fix. And this is a powder foundation, and you can definitely use this as your foundation. But, oh, it's so good. Okay, just kind of working that in. I feel like I want even a little bit of shimmer on my cheeks as well. And one of my favorite blushes for this is to use the Milani blushes. These have a little shimmer to them, so they kind of give you a highlight as well as a blush. Now this is the Sephora 99 or 66, I guess it's the way you hold it. I'm going to take a little bit of this and I'm going to dust that right on top of that cream blush that we did. And another deal breaker I hear people say too is no shimmer on the face for mature skin. And again, I think that is really just gonna mean I don't want glitter on my face, but I do like a little glow and a little shimmer. So a couple of my favorites are the Hourglass. This compact is the dim light, it's ambient lighting, dim light, incandescent light, and radiant light, all three. I like to just kind of mix those, and I dust those on as like a last setting. And I also recently got Soft and Gentle Mineralize from MAC. This one is a little bit shimmy, more shimmer than this, but it's so pretty. So let's put this on because we're breaking rules today. And I'm gonna use this same fluffy brush. I'm gonna get a little on just the tip of the brush this time. I'm gonna wipe off on my hand. I always do that. My hand is always my palette. It's kind of like what I do. Just gonna take a little bit more. Get that. And for this, I'm gonna just touch on this high point of my cheek. I'm not gonna put any on my forehead because I don't like my forehead to look too shiny. But here, yeah. Now, if you have super large pores, you may want to skip this step, but we can wear shimmer. Okay, I am breaking the rules, and what do you guys think? I'm gonna set my makeup with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Ooh, and I want to try this new one. Let me go grab it. This is the Infallible by L'Oreal. It's the 3-second setting mist, 36 hours. It's supposed to keep your makeup in place. Who is up for 36 hours? Not me. But I tried this the other day on my hand when I first got it, and it did leave like a nice glow to the skin. So I'm gonna use, this is the first time I'm using it on my actual makeup application. So I'll see how this looks. Let me keep it from further away. Okay. And it's not as wet as the Charlotte Tilbury, which I kind of like, but I like using that Charlotte one first, and then I'm gonna see how this one goes. So I'll get back to you on my true thoughts on this, but this has gotten really good rave reviews, and you know, I like trying everything, so I'm gonna try it. Okay, lips today, I'm gonna use Soar. Soar as in flying, not soar as in I'm sore. This is from MAC. So I've broken several of the rules that I've been seeing on social. I think my makeup looks pretty good. So the reason I'm doing this is partly in jest and partly in just kind of calling out some of the ageist thought processes that are being subliminally planted in our head on a daily basis. We get bombarded with subliminal messages about aging all the time, and if we're not aware, we can easily fall down that rabbit hole and really start kind of looking at ourselves with a different lens, and then thinking that you need to do all these things to try to look 10, 15, whatever years younger. And that's where it becomes dangerous, in my opinion. Can't talk very well and do my lips, so let me just get this on. I like to slightly overline my lips. I'm sure you've noticed. It works nice with these MAC lip liners. And then what I do is I take my MAC Studio Fix and I take my favorite sponge, take a little bit of this and tap on top. Okay, then I go back in with another layer. You know, one other thing I'm really sick of are lip oils. Oh my God, if another brand comes out with a lip oil, I think I will scream. Like, enough of the lip oils. Like, we're done. We're done. I can't even It's just out of control. Okay. Now, a drugstore favorite of mine is this by, I think this is Revlon, if I'm not mistaken. This is their new like lipstick shines. It's just a great formula. And this one is number 088. I believe it's Rum Raisin, which in honor of Mother's Day, I thought was so appropriate because my mom used to wear Revlon Rum Raisin lipstick. I think it was Revlon. Is this? I think this is Revlon. Let me double check. Again, I cannot see. So pretty. This gives the lips enough moisture, but it's not a lip oil. Like I said, I'm so sick of, yeah, this is Revlon. So sick of lip oils. This is a nice compromise for me because it has that glossy, real balmy feel to the lips, but this color stays. And again, I'm just really over the lip oil. When things are super trendy and popular, I tend to not want to use them. I've always been that way. It's so weird. It's one thing about me, but if something is like super popular, everyone's doing it, it repels me. Like I don't want to do it. So yeah, it's a little insight into my personality, I guess. Now I'm going to take my Hourglass, and I think this middle one is called Incandescent Light. It's the lightest one in this palette, and I like to take my concealer brush and get that into the bristles. Tap off on my hand. As you see, I have my palette here, and I'm just going to push a little bit into the inner corners here. I don't know, it's just something I like to do at the very end. Okay, now I was going to come back and revisit my eyes and see if I wanted to add a little bit more shimmer because we're breaking the rules. And this one is really pretty. This is another Armani one. And this one, again, I cannot read the name without squinting my eyes out. So I'll put this on in the description box. But I'm going to take a little bit of this on a brush. And I think I'm going to tap a little bit of this all over because they tell me that we can't wear shimmer over 50. You better believe your bottom dollar I'm going to wear it. No one puts baby in the corner. No one is going to tell me I cannot wear shimmer because of my age. If I feel like wearing it, I'm going to wear it. Yes, I like that. That really gave a nice little effect. Okay, so this is my rule-breaking makeup. I broke all the rules. It feels so good to be bad. It feels so good to not listen to the noise. It feels good just to feel true to myself. This is age-honoring makeup. That simply is just doing what makes you feel good, not worrying about the rules, and just have fun with makeup, guys. Have fun with it. You can wash it off. That is the beauty of makeup. If you mess up, you don't like this look that you've tried, you can go and wash it off and start over. That's why I love makeup, because unlike a haircut or even committing to a hair color, you know, it's a little bit more convoluted to change it. It takes more steps. But with makeup, you can just wipe it away. You can wash it off and start over. And tomorrow I can do a totally different look. And that's why I love the ritual of sitting here at my counter, doing makeup, kind of seeing what I feel for the day. Maybe it's based on what I'm wearing, but I just love to have fun. And I just want to encourage you guys, let's begin age-honoring makeup, age-honoring skincare routines, and just meeting yourself where you're at and really enjoy the process of makeup without worrying about every little detail to make sure that you're lifted and blah, blah, blah. I'm just so tired, so absolutely tired of that message. I'm here to start a new trend, and the trend is age-honoring makeup. So I hope you'll join me for further age-honoring content. That's what I'm all about on this channel. I would love if you would not only like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I am just getting started here and love to have you join me on this journey. Until next time, keep breaking those rules, ladies. Do it. You're going to have a lot of fun. Bye-bye.